Rise and shine, mothers and brothers and cheese wedges and handlebars all over the world. Rise and shine. Let it grow and let it flow. Hey, just a quick little word for curlier, nappier beards. In my years of experience after working with black guys and cutting their hair, and every type of curl, from the little tiny curls, the little tiny corkscrews, to the larger, looser curled haired guys. Many guys have beards that are curly like that, and there's times when a guy comes in and I feel his beard and it feels more like the old days. Many of you don't remember the old days when black guys would have afros, and I would feel and it was like a very, very large, curly, very soft. It felt great. You wouldn't put a guard on the clipper. You would pick it out and then freehand it, which I was very good at because I have a very steady hand, which is one of the reasons why I do beards so well freehand, because of the steady hand. And a lot of people have said to me, man, I could never ever do that, and it's nothing that I can claim. It's purely God's gift. The steady hand is a gift, nothing that I work for. I've even had surgeons say to me that when I've given them shaves, my Lord, you have a steady hand. And that's a real compliment coming from surgeons. But here's the thing, if you have a curly beard, in the same way when I used to work with guys with afros, I'm not a big fade guy. As you know, a lot of the black guys will get fades, like a 0 fade, like skin on the side, going all the way up to like a 1, 1.5, or a 2, which is such easy care. Afros are harder care. The problem is that when skin breaks free, it eventually works its way to the surface, and you end up with what looks like grated cheese, like interspersed throughout the hair. There's times when I've taken a guy who's had a fro and he wants to go down to a fade, and I would just like clipper him down, and his scalp is just like gnarly because he hasn't done anything with his scalp because the hair is so thick. And that is an issue that is very, very specific to the African American community or ethnic community, or anyone who has, it's mainly the black community, but anyone who has the tight, kinky, curly hair. So that's an issue. But this is one of the things that I warn people about, especially with my method of co-washing. If you have a tight, kinky, curly beard, my method of co-washing 6 days a week and washing with Grandpa's pine tar soap once a week, I would jack that up to twice a week with the pine tar soap. Reason being is that my beard literally grows out with a very, very slight curl. More of a wave. It's not a curl, it's a wave. I actually have to put product on my hands and scrunch my beard to actually make it curl. So it pretty much grows straight. That's why I can, it hangs like a curtain on my face. When your beard just kind of grows like this, just like a cotton ball, okay? It's almost like having an afro on your face. And another thing I've done is when I've shaved guys' beards off, when a guy has a pretty big beard and wants to go clean shaven, the skin underneath is red, irritated, flaky, and that's with about 75% of the guys that I've taken big beards off. Very few have proper skin underneath. Those that do are the ones that have listened to me, believe it or not. So my advice has been right on and has proven to be true. One thing I noticed is that when you co-wash, the co-wash doesn't necessarily remove any odors. Now, yesterday I kind of brightened my beard up with my baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and rosemary formula. Put it on, and you'll notice my beard is a little bit brighter because I was puffing on some cigars and pipes when I was on vacation and not giving as much of a damn about eating things with red sauce and that kind of stuff. And the co-washing, the conditioner washing, doesn't really clean the white beard. Now, in the same way that a black guy has very specific issues with his hair, the white bearded guy has very specific issues. So the white beard guys, you'll know what I'm talking about. But for the generally curly beard guy, jack it up to twice a week with Grandpa's Pine Tar soap or the brownsoapcompany.com soap. It's the liquid soap in the pump. That works really well. Because one thing I've noticed is that, and I hate to say this, but I have cut some people's hair and their hair smells. Their scalp reeks. And I find myself like holding my breath. And then if you get somebody with a gnarly scalp and you're putting clippers on them and those clippers are moving at 13,000 RPMs, they're throwing like skin flakes up in the air. That's the gross part of being in the hair business. It's disgusting and it makes me want to get a lump in my throat. The same way with beards. If a person doesn't take care of their hair and take care of their beard, you might not even be aware of the odor coming out of your beard. And then you wonder why you're single. I'm just kidding with that part. I find that you need the cleanser to get the odor out. Particulate matter, sawdust, everyday stuff, mowing the lawn, grass, stuff, just stuff. That's particulate matter. Environmental matter would be like anything that is job specific, anything that is dust, if you're on a dusty, dirty road, if you're into motorcycling the way that I am, you end up collecting not so much particles, like things that you can feel in your beard, but your beard generally just gets dirty. If you work in a petroleum-oriented atmosphere, you can come home smelling like oil or gas. If you work in a chemical industry, many times, when I worked in a salon, I'm not kidding. Sometimes I would come home. Now, perms don't smell the way they used to, but if anyone, you might be old, some of you might be old enough to remember what a perm smells like, or relaxers, or now some of the keratin treatments are just so toxic. I mean, they're just disgusting, and you come home smelling like that. I had a roommate once that worked in a food court, and she fried chicken, and her fried chicken was out of this world, but she would come home literally smelling like fried chicken. So, environmental things. Cleansers are the only thing that's going to get that out. So rather than having a stinky beard or a beard with Parmesan grated cheese scattered throughout, which means that your skin is not healthy underneath there, I would suggest, like for instance, I remember always going out in the sunshine, and when I had acne, which I don't anymore, and the sun would clear my face up. If I had like any acne on my shoulders or back, boom, sun clears it right up. Well, when you have a beard, UV light, healthy UV light cannot help your skin, and that helps create vitamin D. So I would add a vitamin D supplement to your diet, which I do because I'm not getting the proper exposure to sunlight. Although there is the kind of sunlight that can burn and cause cancer and really be bad for your skin, I'm talking about the kind, just like healthy exposure to light. So keep that in mind, okay? What is underneath your beard? Guys with curly beards, if you're sitting in my chair, I will diagnose you in the same way that I would do kind of a diagnostic thing on a black guy's head who maybe let a fro grow out and he wanted to go down to a fade or something like that. Although I don't do those kind of haircuts anymore, I think it's important that, and then I would educate a guy, and I always had oils and stuff like that to help moisturize a person's head, which everybody was always grateful for. And that's another great reason to not just put beard oil on the hair, on the beard itself or on the surface, but literally massage it in. And I love eyedroppers and literally inserting the eyedropper in at a few different places and using your fingertips and massaging that oil into the skin, that's not a bad thing to do either. I hope those are tips that help. And thank you so much for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. Google and YouTube are taking me twice as seriously now. Almost immediately after reaching 10,000, I've been getting emails, and I'm going to be going to a YouTube content creators boot camp, and I'm very excited about that. So my dream of the realization of my dream of creating my own income and not working for anyone but myself is going to be coming true. I'm right on schedule for the next 18 to 20 months. Anyways, if I can help, let me know. Subscribe, please. Comment if you have a comment or ask a question. I have been much better at getting back with everybody. I would rather have you comment. The private messages are great, but my God, they get lost. And when you have 10,000 subscribers now, I kid you not, I get hundreds of messages. And being that I'm not doing this full time, that means I get up earlier, stay up later, that type of thing, which I don't mind doing. I'm not complaining about it at all. It's my pleasure to do that, my pleasure to help you. Because I am the Sultan of Silver, and I am a bearded gentleman whose purpose in life is to help people and also benefit from it as well. But that's what I'm good at, and that's what is easy for me to do, and I'm glad that I have found a means to do it. All right, have a fantastic day. Optimize that beard. Think more about beard care and skin care. Remember this, hair grows out of skin. So healthy skin will create healthy hair. I'm going to do a video on how your hair in a linear way is like the rings on a tree. You can tell what was going on in your life. If you know the fact that hair grows about a ½ inch a month, you can actually look at your hair shaft and pinpoint depression. You can pinpoint happiness. You can pinpoint when your marriage broke up, when you left your job, when somebody died, because you can see a weakness in the structure. It's kind of interesting. Hair tells so much about our health when we look at it microscopically. And then obviously even chemically it reveals a lot. All right, we're going to be talking about that in the future. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.